Are movie recap channels hurting the film industry? Recently I came across a few of these in my recommended. Movie recaps, movie caps, mystery capped, and how will it end, just to name a few. The way these channels work is they take a movie and will summarize key points and events with commentary over the top. These videos usually last anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. The problem that I have with this is simple. Film is art. Now, you may disagree with me on this, but having said this, I'm sure there are many who will also agree with me. It begs the question, has this generation become so mentally inept, and have our attention spans dwindled so much so that we can't even sit down and just enjoy a movie anymore? Movie Recaps, a channel with 1.76 million subscribers, recently posted a video titled $5 million if they can spend 50 days together inside an empty room. Upon scrolling through the comments, one comment in particular really got me thinking, and it simply read, "This channel has saved me from wasting hours of my life watching low-budget movies. This movie looked decent, but I know it would have been a bit boring." This guy perhaps makes a fair point, but it begs the question, is this kind of philosophy deterring the next generation from watching movies altogether? Granted, there is plenty of trite that Hollywood pumps out, but there's one problem. These channels do not focus exclusively on brand new movies. Movies like The Truman Show, The Butterfly Effect, Fight Club, Jojo Rabbit, and Limitless are just to name a few. And it begs the question, where's the cutoff point? Movie Recaps has only been uploading for just over a year, and it's done incredibly well in such a short time on YouTube, as have many of these other channels. I guess this would make sense given the fast food approach our generation takes to everything nowadays. Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook, I think, are partly responsible for this. Look, we're all guilty of it. You know, you're scrolling through your feed and all of a sudden half an hour has just whizzed by. You can summarize and compartmentalize a lot of things, but I don't think you can do this with movies. It's unfair to their respective creators and writers. Summaries of art have always existed, granted. We've seen this with things like Cliff's Notes. You know you have a book report due, and maybe you're just really not into the book, or maybe you just have more important projects due. So what do? You read Cliff Notes. But what makes me laugh about these videos is the timing. If you're a fast reader, for instance, a 600-page book may take you a week or two. Or if you take time reading and you do it at your own pace, you might spend a few months on it. Hell, maybe even on and off for over a year. But a movie? I mean, are you telling me you'd rather watch a 17-minute long video than the movie itself? Take a look at this one, for instance, a recap of The Walk. This video is almost 14 minutes long. What is the runtime of the movie? 123 minutes. I mean, you do the math. If you watched this recap, you've just essentially watched about 12% of the entire movie. Okay, so try this. If you're watching this video right now, ask yourself, how long was I scrolling through YouTube videos before I clicked on this video? 10 minutes? 20 minutes? Half an hour? More than an hour? My point is, if you can watch a 20-minute long recap video, then I'm sure you can muster a 2-hour movie. Next, of course, we have the issue of spoilers. Now, spoilers are fine, but I feel as though these spoilers are kind of insidious in their nature. So let me explain. If you're watching a review video or an analysis video, or maybe you're just reading reviews on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, 99% of the time these will have spoiler warnings. The problem I have with these videos is that they're very subtle. Because you're watching a recap, it doesn't really feel like the movie has been spoiled for you. Because unlike short, snappy spoilers like Iron Man dies at the end of Endgame, these spoilers are so subtle that by the time you finish the video, you barely notice that you've just watched the entire movie. I understand that many people want to try it before they buy it, so to speak, but that is why we have these magical things called synopses. A synopsis is a great way of deciding right away whether or not you want to commit to watching something. And honestly, even if you don't end up enjoying the movie in the end, so what? I don't like it when people say things like, well, that's 2 hours of my life I'm not getting back. I mean, you reserve the right to turn it off any time. Also, if a movie is terrible, I actually don't mind this. If anything, it actually just makes you appreciate excellent movies even more so. I mentioned before about a movie being a piece of art. These recap videos do nothing to exemplify this fact. For starters, how am I supposed to appreciate the movie if there's commentary talking over the top of it? Many of these channels use still images, and the clips are usually no more than about 10 or 20 seconds long. Because of this, it doesn't allow any time for the viewer to be immersed or appreciate the fantastic artistry that the film industry has to offer. The fact is, nobody actively searches for these recap videos. I would bet cold hard cash that the majority of their views come from people who have seen these videos in their recommended, or just from the way the algorithm is formulated. To truly appreciate a scene, it has to be watched in full. You wouldn't go to an art museum only to have a security guard roughly move you along after only 30 seconds of looking at a painting. Look at this scene from Philadelphia. I love this scene because it's a pinnacle moment in the movie. Tom Hanks' character, Andy, has just been fired from his job, and on top of that, he's just been told by Denzel Washington's character that he will not be representing Andy for this case for, quote, personal reasons. Andy knows he's dying, and Tom Hanks does an outstanding job here at portraying the fear, anger, hopelessness, and general depression that is practically oozing out of his eyes. I'm not sure if Movie Recaps has recapped this movie. Frankly, I actually don't want to know, but I cannot for the life of me understand how one is supposed to appreciate such a powerful moment in cinema in a mere 15-minute video. Take a look at these other scenes. The killing fields. Apocalypse Now.
Come on, baby, take a chance with us. Come on, baby, take a chance with us.
Blade Runner.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
My biggest fear here is that people will watch these recap videos and think to themselves, well, I've seen the whole movie now, so what's the point? It takes a myriad of factors to make a scene what it is. Soundtrack, dialogue, cinematography, camera angle. One cannot exist without the other. Take one element away and it's no longer a work of art, it's just people doing stuff on a screen. So, are movie recap videos hurting the film industry? I think at their core, they're fairly harmless. However, I hope that those who watch these videos are watching merely out of boredom and not due to a lack of attention span. I don't think modern movies are low budget, in fact I'd argue quite the contrary, but the Marvel-esque banal formula that seems to have plagued the industry is more than likely the architect of its own demise. Perhaps if movies took more risks, we wouldn't have these type of channels. Who knows?